Taxonomy is a powerful intelligence engine that allows you to very rapidly and very quickly set up new scenarios in order to analyze and rationalize content across multiple repositories. Taxonomy can connect very quickly without any coding effort to various different repositories like Documentum or FileShares or Viva or SharePoint and many more, and crawl across that content and using artificial intelligence and machine learning algorithms understand and read the content much like a human being would. And they're able to identify quickly various different features that are contextually important within the content. In this example, we're focused on the rationalization of documents, in particular SOPs, and the ability to very quickly classify and sort them, even though the SOPs may be very similar in nature. Let's say, for instance, you have global SOPs and regional SOPs, and the regional SOPs might be copies of the global SOPs with just a different paragraph placed in the document. We're able to sort through those and classify those documents very quickly. So within this demo, we went ahead and we quickly set up a couple of classifications, and so we called one SOP Global and one SOP Regional. Now we had a very small subset of documents that we trained on, but we were able to set these two classification scenarios up in a matter of minutes, and those are now being applied within the system. In addition, we set up a very simple entity extractor to look for SOP numbers within the content. So again, within a matter of minutes, we set up this scenario. So let's go back and let's take a look at what that looks like in the system. So let's say I want to go ahead and do a search, and I'm looking for managing lot-controlled product as my search criteria across the system. So I go ahead and I'll go ahead and paste in my search query here and execute a search. So very quickly I get back a series of results, 16 in this case. Let's say I want to filter that to only look at global SOPs based on the class that I created. So I apply that filter. And now I'm looking back at a series of global SOPs, which my result set now is only 5. So I'll go ahead and open up this one here because this is the one that I was interested in. We'll see that this meets my search criteria, managing lot control product. I could also click over here and be able to view that content if I've elected to import it, and I can see that this is, in fact, the SOP that I was interested in. Now let's say, for instance, that I want to see if there are any other references to this same SOP that could be a regional scenario where they've copied this SOP, but they've actually only inserted something new. It's pretty much the same otherwise. So I could choose to highlight my search criteria here, just like this, and then right click on it and say find similar. What I quickly get back is a result of documents where that phrase, the actual phrase, managing lot control product, is very similar. And so I can see here that my global SOP that I was in is here, but I also see that there's a regional SOP here that's very similar. So I could actually jump to that regional SOP because I understand that it's similar in nature, and I can see that this document almost looks identically the same. Everything in it would be pretty much the same. But if I view the source, and for demo purposes I highlighted this, you can see I inserted this paragraph into this SOP. So it's literally a copy, and all that I changed was the title, put the word regional here, and inserted this. So our system has the understanding from a contextual standpoint to know the difference between the two documents, and it can sort those documents. I can also see that this regional classification, was classified by our system, and it had a 92% accuracy rate in its classification of that SOP regional. Now, bear in mind, this accuracy rate goes much higher if we give it more samples. We gave it only 30 samples to learn from, but the more we give it, the better that it is. Now let's look at another scenario here. Let's go back and do a quick search, And now let's say we're looking for SOPs in this case that are basically having to do with a change control process. So we'll go ahead and just paste that query in there and do another search. Now we quickly get back a series of documents and we'll basically take a look at these real quick, and I'll jump to this one here because this one's the one that I'm interested in. Now what's important to note on this one is that we identified this document, we did a query, it came back. In this case, it was classified as global, and it was very accurate in its classification. It gave it 100%, which is probably more like 99.9, but it's very accurate in its prediction that this is a global SOP, and in fact it is. But you'll also notice something else, that we trained an entity analyzer for identifying SOP numbers. So if we open this up, we'll see SOP numbers that were identified within the content. Now, I'm interested in this first one, so I can click on it and highlight it and jump to the section of the document where this SOP number was identified and found. But what else is very important to note here is Doxonomy also can understand relationships. So it understands that this SOP is talking about also another SOP. And so you can see over here, these relationships are dynamically developed, right? They're built by crawling the content and understanding what's inside of it, and it can create these relationships. So I have a relationship over here in our section, and I could actually jump to the SOP that is mentioned in this document that it's in reference to, and very quickly jump back to that document. And you'll see here, the relationship, occurs. It's speaking about, the other SOP right here. That circular relationship has been created. That was established dynamically by the system and its intelligence that it's gathering. I hope that this has been useful to you and that you find it interesting. These are just a few simple features that exist within this powerful platform. So if you'd like to learn more about this, please reach out to us. We'd be happy to talk to you about it. Have a great day.